So we're finally getting our first harvest for fall already. Super happy about that. So we've got us some radishes here, some cucumbers, some lettuce. This is Vivian and Gourmet. And we are harvesting Space Maker cucumbers. I love the Space Maker cucumbers. As you can tell, it doesn't grow very big. Look at all those blooms. We are in like a pollination here because there's so many blooms. They should be loaded down with cucumbers. And I have hand pollinated some of them, but I haven't pollinated them like I should. I just haven't been able to. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. There is some cucumbers up there, but I love this Space Maker cucumber for the greenhouse. It's got some mildew disease onto it, but we're fall, it's into the greenhouse, and it's fall. So you can kind of expect that more so, you know, when the temperatures are wet, like it is outside. It's raining and it's wet, it's humidity. So, but the greenhouse is doing really good. I have been having a little issue trying to get my lettuce to grow this year. It might be the seeds. This bed right here, I had planned on for lettuce and cabbages, but I've had a time with my cabbages also, which I usually don't. But every season is different, and so we just have to roll with the punches. This is Ross Moss. It's been holding on since spring, so it does really well into the greenhouse. So I've learned that. Here are some volunteer tomatoes. They've got blooms on them. I cut some of the leaves off to try to keep good airflow, keep the suckers out. And so maybe we'll have some fall tomatoes for a tomato sandwich. This year I planted some carrots in here. They really do, they do better outside, I would think, at this point in time. I mean, they're growing, but it's a little bit more difficult growing them into the greenhouse for some reason. As you can tell, the soil is wet, and I think that has a lot to do with it for some reason. Here in this section, these are hybrid carrot sugar snacks. So, but I'm always experimenting, so that's definitely something I want to do. The chard is doing pretty well, and we've got the fruit trees in here, the lemon tree, the orange tree, which the oranges are still growing, will be growing for a while. And then we have our broccoli, our early ball early ball cauliflower, and then we have our broccoli here, which is RAAB broccoli. Excuse me. And so down here is I just harvested this lettuce right here, trying to get some cabbages to grow. I didn't want that many, so I do got a few down there. And then we got one Castle Skull Brussels sprout. And the Gourmet lettuce is taken off right there, and the butter crunch lettuce hasn't came up, so we'll see how it does. Here's my one cabbage plant. The little worm got into it, and I got him. But all my cabbage plants should be that big. For some reason, I had a time with it. Our onions are down here growing. We'll grow them in this section hopefully this year. I say hopefully because honestly, don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with the greenhouse or be able to do anything. We've got the radishes outside. We've got some mustard that's been sown into the raised beds. We've got cabbage collards outside into the raised bed, and that's pretty much it, I think. So I might have to let this go. I am heading into my third surgery well, right now it's 2 months, and I'm so done with it. But you know, I might have to let all this go. And when you look at this, it's really hard because really it's at this easy point now. It's basically just watching it, making sure the insects don't get on it. It is planting time, So if I can't get my cabbage to go ahead and take off, I might just go ahead and purchase some from the store. I have looked at them. They look horrible. Two places I've looked at them at, and when you grow everything from seed, when you purchase something other, it's like $6 and the plants look terrible. To me it's hard. It's really hard to purchase it, and I walked away from them. It's just horrible. They plant them early, they get leggy, you got the wind, they're not watered properly, they're in shock, and it's hard. It really is hard. I guess if you didn't know any difference, it wouldn't be no big deal. But yeah, so I'm gonna be heading into surgery, just waiting for the phone call, and I might have to let all this go, and I might, who knows, I might disappear from YouTube for a little bit. You know, making videos is kind of hard to do by yourself, and you know, do the growing, do everything. It'd be so much easier if you just had somebody walk behind you while you do what you do with your skills, and just video. That would be just awesome. You know, it'd be so much easier. But everybody knows that when you're doing things, it's like this pops up and that pops up, and oh, I got to do this now, and you know, trying to go get the camera and get everything ready for that, and then try to move the camera and try to remember what you're going to say, and it's really hard. But just showing your life event, just have somebody walk behind you with the camera, and like I was harvesting the radishes and the lettuce and the cucumbers, you know, that would be, you know, just have someone there. But that's not how the Lord has directed my life, obviously. And so He knows I'm strong enough to be able to handle certain things. This is something I've been trying to get done, but this is my grapeless, seedless grape. It's got some little babies on there. I don't think it's going to have enough time to harvest. And this little contraption here is to keep the cat out. It's my carrots. They do really good outside. These are carrots that came up that and the seeds that fell off the plant. And I've never had that happen before. Usually they say it takes 2 years to get seeds from carrots, and mine produced in 1 year. So I did harvest those seeds, got them in the house, and I got tons and tons of seeds. I was amazed. So this is kale here, smooth kale. This is where I harvest the radishes. I've got some broccoli planted down here, threw those in there, and the kale is starting to take off. Over here in this tall raised bed, I planted some mustard seed, and we'll see if it comes up, how it does. I put a lot of seeds in there, so with this rain going on, maybe we'll get, you know, some mustard growing. Mustard is really easy to grow. You don't have to do a whole lot. I've never raised it into a raised bed before. I've always did it into the garden, and so that's going to be a new experience. This is where I harvest the flowers that was in here. This grew cantaloupe, and it did really excellent. These are my cabbage collards here into this new raised bed. One of them outside, so when the frost hits, then it can, you know, make cabbage collards, it can make them sweet. But then you also, more outside, you got to deal with pest pressure. So I always look up on the leaves. I'm gonna take that bottom leaf off there. It's not gonna suit no purpose anyhow. And look up under there and see if I can see any worm, because usually these little tiny holes come from a worm, and they're so small you can't really see them. So usually what I'll do, if I can't see them, I'll just smash it. This is a couple broccoli I threw in here. First time of growing carrots into a container. It can be done. And the peas, you know, are starting to come off. And I got another section over there. The peas are starting to come off, and so I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm going to handle all this. I might have to let them go. They're just starting to come off. I'm just waiting for that phone call to go in again, and then I'm just going to be, I'm probably just going to have to let everything go. You know, it is what it is. The butter beans back there, I've been waiting on them. I've been doing some experimenting because here on the southeast coast, the heat and humidity, the plants always look beautiful. They put out a bunch of blooms. They put out little butter beans, but that's as far as it goes. So looking at the leaves are starting to come out more so now. I think it's just our heat, and I'm trying to figure out the time frame as far as planting because of that. Because when they say to plant, then I'm not having good success. The okra, I cut back and the tops off of it, and I'm harvesting okra again for my second harvest. So all those nutrients went to the bottom of the plant. It put out leaves. As the plant is growing, I cut the leaves off and throw them to the ground. And those tall stalks, or some of them are like 8 feet high. And so I cut those off. All those nutrients would go to the bottom leaves that started coming out, and they just took off. So, yeah. And this is pretty much it. I thank you all my subscribers. A couple other plants I got this is oregano. It needs to be into the greenhouse before it frosts, and this is a blueberry. It needs to be planted. But you know, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. It gets so hard sometimes. You see other YouTube videos, and you're trying. You're really working at it. You really are doing a homestead. You really are doing it by yourself. You're building. You're trying to keep your animals protected and the best that you can, you know, because I believe in that. And it gives you a peace of mind. And you're setting things up not for beauty, but you're setting it up for a convenience of your animal. And like up under there, they can get their food up under there. They can get out of the rain. They can get out of the wind. You know, you feed your animals. You make sure that they are getting everything that they need, and well taken care of. Protected is the key too. I mean, taking care of them is one thing, but protecting them is another key. So there's another rabbit over here. I will not get this section taken care of like I had planned. So once again, sometimes you got to rig things up that works for the animal, that keeps them protected, keeps them out of the rain, keeps them out of the cold air, the heat, whatever it takes to make sure that they're well taken care of. And this right here, I'm not sure how it keeps getting shut, but eventually I'll do something else. I just didn't want the door getting wet. And sometimes you just have to rig things up that works. I don't go for beauty. I go for what I know works and what is convenient for the animal. What makes their life easy? What makes their life happy? You know, what protects them? These boards right here is something I'm going to be doing with. But you see how their food's up under there. It's out of the rain. They can get out of the rain and get out of the wind. So pretty much after this ordeal, after I get this phone call, and you know, I'm gonna be down, and I'm kind of disappointed because like this chicken tractor needs to be repaired, and I got fencing to put up. I've got so many projects that need to be handled, and it's not gonna happen, you know. There's just so many. I've got the pump house back there that somebody just left, and you know, the least person I thought would do something like that just left me hanging onto it. So I was coming and finishing it up, you know. And then I have, you know, did purchase a post hole digger for the tractor, and it's sitting in there. And so that was one of my goals for fall, was to start trying to work on fence. I never put up fence before, so it is a little bit intimidating, but you know, yeah, you know, you got to start somewhere, right? So the tiller, you know, for the garden, usually after usually the chickens are already in this area right here, going through, eating bugs and going through all this and having a very good time, but the peas started coming off, so they're kind of out. So this deer fencing was going to come down so the garden could be tilled up and be taken care of. So that's a new experience, but You know, sometimes life happens, and we just have to roll with the punches. And back here is the garlic and the other carrots. The rabbits do love the carrot tops, and I kind of got cardboard over it because the garlic's planted, but I'm trying to keep the cat out, and I haven't got something up to make that happen. That's why that wire's on top of these carrots. And they have, oh, I see some babies coming up. I was gonna say they haven't come up like they usually do, but I did sow some more seeds, so I'm very happy to see that. But this wire's got to come off, and you know, suddenly I get this news. Suddenly something happened, and suddenly you know, have to go back to the doctor, and then suddenly he says, well, this is what we got to do, and I'm like, you know, I kind of sighed, and then I was like, okay, and you know, what do you say? You have to roll with the punches. It's heartbreaking, but I'll be okay. Sometimes we go through things, and honestly, I'm lucky to be here. I'm lucky to be alive. So that's just the way it is. I'm lucky to find out my diagnosis early and deal with it. I'm lucky to have a daughter that I'm about to cry, that helped me to make decisions, and yeah. And so right now my heart is a little broken. I have to go through this again, but it is what it is. Excuse me for my emotions. It is what it is. So, but I'm thankful for my daughter for helping me, you know, making decisions, being there with me, taking me into surgery, just, you know, inconvenience for her life, but yeah, she does that for her mom. So, you know, I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for God for, you know, saving my life, and I'm thankful for the doctor just carrying me through this situation, and I'm thankful to God for carrying me through and guiding me and being there with me, keeping me strong. I had a lady tell me yesterday, she says, you don't look like you're going through anything. And I was totally amazed because I felt like my world had just crashed. But it hasn't crashed. It's just the beginning, you know. I just got to get through this season. And I think one of the hardest parts is I'm not sure if it's showing up on camera. One of the hardest parts is that you see your goals and you've been striving for that, to do a homestead, and you feel like you're almost arrived, and you're trying to reach those goals, and you have so many other things pop up, and you're just kind of struggling at times, but you keep that smile going, and you keep the encouragement going to yourself, and you just say, well, I can get this, I can do this, I can do this. And on my channel I have onto my videos list, it's like the title was You Can Do This, and I'm totally amazed that I find myself saying I can do this, I can do this. So yeah, I love growing. I wish I had the time to take everybody through every step of growing and show them every step, everything that I do to produce a plant. I see so many comments in the past that people they struggle with it, and they just don't know, and it's kind of troublesome, and I'll give them some helping hands, and you know, some guidance on other pages, and they don't know what they're dealing with, and they're just trying to grow, and they're first timers, and they want to quit and park and give up and throw in the towel. And I'm like, no, sometimes you have seasons that happens, just like I'm struggling with cabbage growing for some reason, and I haven't purchased cabbage plants because I'm like, you know, a couple of seeds, and you're spending $6, you know, and yeah, and you don't know how the plants are going to do. But anyways, that's enough of this video right here. Thank you all my subscribers. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the likes. And thank you for being there. Thank you for continuing watching. and supporting me onto YouTube. Well guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you on to the next video. The animals been fed and everything. The greenhouse has been harvested, and that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks a lot.